Hello YouTube, it is your boy B3 back with another kicking action figure review. Today we are looking at the Mattel Hammond Collection Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary Jurassic Park 3 Dr. Allan Grant with a female Velociraptor. Yes, this is one that I got on sale for like dirt cheap. I wasn't going to go for it as soon as I did. I mean, I wanted it one day because I love the JP3 Raptors. I love their designs. I think they're underrated looks. And yeah, the other two movies have good ones. Blue is cool, but these are kind of my favorite. They're also the ones that I grew up with the toys of the most of. I have so many of the original JP3 Raptor toys. Still to this day, they're in storage, however. But since it's an Amazon exclusive and it's not sold at brick and mortar stores, it just comes in this brown shipper. You see? So that's that. Nothing really super fancy there. So in-package collectors might not be too happy with it. Sure, it's got some flair when you open it up. It's basically like an inside-out Hammond collection box, pretty much. So I guess maybe if you really wanted, you could try to flip this puppy out, but it wouldn't work. It's just got this cover here, and then there's the critters inside, which is pretty neat. So let's set that over here, and let me pop all these guys all the way out of packaging. And here they are out of packaging. The famous Allan Grant Doctor, and also female Velociraptor. It doesn't say female Velociraptor on the packaging, but it is, right? That's what this is. So, I've kind of gone through it. It's okay. I'm going to show you Allan Grant first, because I know you're probably mostly interested in the Raptor, and I want to get more watch time out of this. So, Allan's articulation, side to side on the head. He's got a nice wobble. You know, a little up and down, could be better. He's really got it going on the waist. It's pretty good for a 3 3/4 inch, I think. I wish it could turn farther to the sides, but it's got great up and down. The arms go in and out, they rotate. He actually has paint on the joints to continue the pattern of the shirt, which is very interesting for a 3 3/4 inch. That's actually really good attention to detail. He does have an elbow bend and swivel. And then he has a rotation on the wrist, as well as forward and back. His are tight, but I'm sure they'll loosen up. God, he looks like he's got old man pants. Look at that old man fupa. Anyway, in and out on the legs. They don't really go back, sadly. He has a hard plastic bussy and not a rubber bussy like McFarlane and NECA do. He's got that hard bussy, just like Hasbro does. Mattel, why? But it does do forward and in and out, but not really any back. He's got a double knee bend, which is always nice to see on a 3 3/4 inch. You've got up and down on his little feeties, a rotation, but not really a pivot. But he does have peg holes, so that's cool. And you know, I think the detail on the shirt is really nice and stuff. He looks more like a young Mel Brooks than he does Allan Grant, to be completely honest with you. But I think it's fine. To be honest, I think my old Jurassic Park 3 3 3/4 inch Allan Grant figures, of which I have several, look more like Allan Grant than this guy. But once again, they're in storage. I'll pull all that stuff out of storage one day, but for right now, that's where it all resides. I'm sorry. If not, I would definitely have my other female Raptors and Allan Grants for size comparisons, which we'll get to. This guy has several accessories. You see he's got like these two kind of holding hands. And then he also has 2 more holding hands. Let me grab those for you real quick, Daddy-o. Okay, so he has these kind of more open hands, but also kind of holdy hands, sort of. I don't know, they're just basically the same hand, but opened a little bit more. Same articulation on them. And he has... Oh! Don't want to lose him. 2 raptor eggs, which seem slightly speckled. So there actually does seem to be some detail and paint on the eggums. Pretty good, actually. There's also a backpack for him. Focus. For him to wear. That's neat. And he also has this kind of big camera bag. And this is my favorite. Because this puppy opens up. And you can put the little eggies in it. That's effing rad. I got freakishly excited when I realized that it opened up and you could put the eggs in there. Like, too excited. Like, not healthy. But then it closes and you got the little eggs. Absolutely amazing. But I couldn't really get the alternate hands to hold the eggs. So let's see how these hands do with egg holding. Ooh, that really stretches those hands out, but I gotta admit, he is holding it. As you can see, he wears the camera bag pretty well. He's like a suburban dad on vacay. Well, a suburban dad on vacay back in the day. Well, maybe now. I don't know. I don't know a lot of suburban dads anymore. But then the backpack, let's see. How easy does this puppy go on? Might have to... Oh yeah, that's not so bad. You just gotta stick the arms backwards. And then the backpack goes on pretty well too. Actually. Quite factually. Looking good, Alan. Oh, what's that bussy do? Anyway, now we're moving on to the raptor. The one you're here for. It's a neat little figure. You can see you've got up and down on the head, side to side. You know, and a wobble. I like the wobbles, you know that. But it's kind of more of a turn, but point down, and it just kind of simulates a wobble, but it's not an actual blah 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 blah. It has jaw articulation, which is one of my favorite points of articulation on dinosaurs. The joint in there isn't the same color as it, but that's fine, because if it was, you would have pink down there, and I'd rather have the white in here. But it does have this big kind of moat in the mouth, and that's supposed to cover up the teeth so that the mouth can close all the way. And it's fine, but it is actually really ugly when you have the mouth open. But when the mouth is closed, it makes for a really nice closure. And then you have up and down on the neck, rotation. So you can do a lot with that neck. Arms in and out, forward, back, and then you have an elbow bend and swivel. And then the arms are like it's hard plastic here and soft plastic here. I really didn't expect that when I pulled it out of the package. I was like, what the hell? The arms are spaghetti. Thought that was very odd. What I believe probably happened was they were originally hard plastic, and see how they're thin? They probably were snapping on prototypes, I'd wager. So they made them rubbery so they wouldn't snap. So yeah, I appreciate that. There's kind of in and out on the legs, but it's not very far. It's not much, but you know, there is forward and back. Doesn't have Allan Grant's bussy, so goes back pretty decent. You've got a knee bend, swivel, and there's no articulation here, but there's articulation on the foot. You've got up and down, rotation, so that can work as a pivot, but there's not much you can do with that because the legs don't go out very far. The tail, I really like how Mattel does the tails for the Hammond collections. For stuff like NECA and Beasts of the Mesozoic, like they'll come with instructions like, hey, heat this part up and then stick it in there. But you don't have to do that for Mattel because they snap in and they stay really well and they don't lose any articulation from that. So NECA, Beasts of the Mesozoic, you can learn a lesson from Mattel's system here. I love the tails. You can just pop them right in and go for it. But yeah, you know, that's kind of like a ball peg, so it can go all around. And it's a bendy wire. So you can pose the tail up all sorts of ways. Now, detail and paint-wise, it's pretty good for the most part. As I said, that rut is ugly. It kind of looks like it's squinting. I don't know. I feel like the raptors have bigger, rounder eyes most of the time. So this raptor really looks like it's squinting. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. And I do like the paint on it. It's pretty cool. It looks like its feet are gigantic, but that's probably just so it can stand. That didn't really bother me on some other Hammond collections that had big feet. But on this one, I don't know if it's just because it's a smaller figure, but it seems to stand out a bit more. Like, look at that. I don't know, maybe that is about right, though. No, they're a little big. Anyways, let's get to size comparisons. Here they are with the Hammond Collection Dr. Sattler from Jurassic Park 1. And, you know, Allan seems to scale pretty perfectly with her. The raptor might be a little big, but I think it's... No, or maybe not. You know, either way, I think it's a fun scaling. Since this is for Jurassic Park 3, I have to show them with a Spinosaurus. Here is the 2019 sculpt of Safari Spinosaurus. And I actually think this is really cool. I think this is a dope scaling. That looks awesome. Here they are with the Chapmay Therizinosaurus. I suppose that puppy could be bigger, but you could say it's a juvenile. Just like the juvenile Schleich one that I reviewed a while back. Speaking of Schleich, here is the Schleich Styracosaurus, a pretty recent review. So was that Chapmay Thera. Oh, and I guess that Spinosaurus was a pretty recent review too. I reviewed a lot of Dino Beanos these days. Anyways, let's back that up. This is one I reviewed a bit further ago. It is the Papo Green Running T-Rex. This one's pretty relevant because it is straight up a knockoff Jurassic Park T-Rex, but it is very good quality, and a lovely figure, in all honesty, even though the arms are really long. That's neat. What other brands do we have? I did talk about Beasts of the Mesozoic earlier, so it only makes sense to show it with the 1/6 scale Beast of the Mesozoic Psittacosaurus, who is far, far, far too big. It's closer to the size of a real-life Psittacosaurus than it would be a Psittacosaurus for these guys. So, woof. Let's pull that back jack. Oh, my nose is all stuffed up. Anyway, how about a pterosaur? Huh? You want to see you with a pterosaur? Here is the Safari LTD Quetzalcoatlus. I feel like I called it Quetzalcoatl the whole time I reviewed it. Quetzalcoatl is the god it's named after, but it's Quetzalcoatlus. You know, it would be so much bigger. But also, you know, they got to grow to that big size. So, still cool. And it's still all going to be displayed together. So it's relevant. Or at least I'm going to display it all together. Now, how about another Hammond Collection Dinosaur? We showed another Hammond Collection Peoples. Now, how about the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Concavinator? This one's kind of my go-to. It was my first one. I really like it. Pretty cool. Remove. Oh, man, I am sniffly. Now, how about a mammal-like reptile? This one isn't a dinosaur, despite the fact that a lot of people seem to think it is, including the creative team behind Jurassic World Dominion. It is the Museum Dinos Dimetrodon. Not scientifically accurate sculpt at all, but very cool. I haven't reviewed this guy, but I have reviewed every other thing I've just showed you. And I will have reviewed this next thing too. It is the Playmates 2017 Skull Island King Kong. Yes, I like to show some kaiju with my dinosaur figures sometimes, since dinosaurs did inspire all these big old critters. So yeah, there you go. That's it with Kong. And of course, I want to do one more kaiju. Here's the Bandai Creations Godzilla 2000 from Bandai America. And yeah, those don't scale well with these at all, but I displayed my kaiju and dinos together, and if you're like that, then you'll probably want to know. So, before the rain gets any harder, what are my final thoughts on the Mattel Hammond Collection Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary Jurassic Park 3 Amazon exclusive 3 3/4 inch Allan Grant and female Velociraptor? it's fine, I guess. It's whatever. I think I like the Grant more than I like the Raptor, oddly enough. I like all the little extra details they gave to him. His accessories are great. That face sculpt is a little whack, but the dude has amazing accessories. Like, really amazing accessories. And, you know, these 3 3/4-inch figures aren't bad. You know, they would have given Marvel Universe a run for their money. I really think so. But most people don't really care about the humans. They just want the dinos. So it's not as good as my other Hammond collection dinos. I think that's just because of the size. It's just held back by its size. They couldn't do as much with it. These arms are rubber because they'd snap if they weren't. You can't do as much locking with the jaw, and you can't do all the other fancy stuff that they did with other jaws, so you just kind of have to give it a rut so that it can fit its teeth in there. You can't give it articulation down here. The feet, you have to enlarge them still to get it to stand, but I mean, just standing on the shelf, like in a super vanilla pose, it'll be fine. It'll be nice. But if you want to actually get some real good action out of this, I don't know. It'll still be okay. I mean, compared to other Hammond collection stuff I've gotten, I don't think this is super great. But our Allan Grant is as good as, if not better, than the Dr. Sattler. So it's a fine set. I'm glad I got it at a discount, because I might be a bit more disappointed if I didn't. I got it for a little under 15. Pretty cheap. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. So remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll be seeing you all next time. Bye for now.